Hey guys, I know we normally do these patch discussions on Twitch. We normally do them with everybody here discussing it as we go. But I've been busy with some finals prep and some tests and all that stuff, so I wasn't able to do it last night, but I still wanted to get my thoughts out there in case you guys were interested in knowing what's going on in the game, what's being changed, and my thoughts on them. So we're just gonna do it as a recording for now. But yeah, let's get right into it. So first things first, Aesop's telling us that we've got some new weapon types coming into the game. We've already known about this. We've been seeing it on like sort of their teasers, their announcements. We know that Yuki is going to be getting dual swords, Shukai is going to be getting dagger, and Sissela is going to be getting throw. Just to clarify, they want to mention that dual swords are not available as a starter weapon, but Yuki can craft them after starting with two-handed swords. So he can't start with dagger, he has to start with two-handed sword. There's some system changes. They're going to allow you to purchase additional save plan slots per character, and you can purchase it with a coin or NP, so it's not like it's locked behind like a paywall or something. This is kind of interesting to me because I'm assuming this goes past the original 5, like the base 5 that you have, so you can potentially get more than 5 save plans per character, I guess. I'm not sure for sure, but this is going to be potentially a really nice change because characters like Aya, Jackie, who have a bunch of different weapons, it's kind of annoying to only be locked to just 5 plans. So I'm happy about this change. Save plans IDs, you can retrieve your save plans by using a save plan ID. So if potentially you want to sort of like note down a save plan ID and then like delete it and then try to log it in later, I guess you can import it that way. I'm not entirely sure if that's what that means. You can filter in the imported save plans by version, and you can rearrange the route order somehow differently than you used to be able to before. They will remove the default save plan recommendations from the shared list, which I think is supposed to be the import save plans list, because it did still show recommendeds there for some reason. Handling improvements. If you right click an area where you cannot access, you will move to a section where you can go without stopping. So basically, it's not going to eat your inputs if you're right clicking in an invalid area. Instead, it's just going to path to what is the closest to what it thinks you were trying to click to. Then no longer unable to get items after clicking them in boxes. Clicking and moving your mouse a little is no longer recognized. You should be able to loot more smoothly, which is great. Like, I've been asking for that change for like basically forever, so I'm glad that's happening. Optimization. They're improving the character resources on Shukai, Jackie, Adriana, and Hyunwoo. They're optimizing bushes and they're optimizing background graphics. So they're just trying to make the game run smoother. I support this. Big fan. What else we got? When a queue pops, Eternal Return is brought to the front of your screen. Match Accept button has been postponed until the next update. Beginner video guides recommended in game for players under level 10, and when you open the scoreboard by pressing tab in spectator mode, the order applied is fixed to team order, and sound effects now occur when you install or use a trap. Interesting. I'm curious what they're going to sound like. Just generally decent, good changes. So, okay, there's character changes. You know, we got some buffs and nerfs. Before they get into the character changes, we have this like 3-paragraph explanation saying, hey, we balance around data, but we also look at like all the factors involved in the data, not just, you know, win rate or kill rate. And we do also to some degree want to balance around high tier players, but we can't always. They're also saying that it's hard for them to balance characters and weapons because, say, if assault rifle Aya is strong in solo but it's weak in squad, and then pistol Aya is weak in solo but strong in squad, like how do you balance the character? You can't just change Aya because you're not addressing these 3 other like combinations that are the actual problematic issue. So they're basically saying, well, this is fucking hard. We're gonna try our best. We don't really know what to do. But when you get right into the actual nerfs, this is where it gets a little questionable. We're seeing Adriana going from 85% damage dealt in squad down to 82, which is, they said a while ago that they were not going to ever lower characters below 85% damage dealt in squad, and they are now doing that, which is concerning to me. I think they might have actually had another one that was already below 85, but I'm not remembering exactly who it was. maybe Aya, but I'm not sure for sure. But yeah, Adriana going down to 82%. Like, I know she's popular in Korea, but I don't think she's strong enough to warrant being at 82%. This is Adriana we're talking about. She is not that strong. But I guess. Aya, they just fixed like a bug about Aya. Kiara, she's going from 92% down to 95% damage dealt in duo. And they fixed like another bug with her. Fiora, okay, the Fiora change is pretty significant. They're lowering her spear attack speed by some amount, a pretty decent amount actually. They're making the Q, they're shifting the power from her E to her Q. They're removing the slow on her E, which was a huge part of her kit. Basically, if you hit someone with your E, it would slow them. If you hit someone and they had full touche stacks, it would slow them for 70%, which was a huge slow. They're removing that entirely off of the E. I think they're also, I don't know what the full touche stacks 100%, 110% damage plus crit strike damage increases. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means that they're removing that or adding that or what. But either way, they're also nerfing the attack power ratio on her E. And for her Q is getting the same slow that the E used to have. It's now a 15% slow on hit with a 70% slow if you have full touche stacks. And the damage dealt is being increased from 200 to 300 at max rank. Full touche stack damage is 200% plus crit damage increase being changed to 110% plus crit strike damage increase. Yeah. So they're changing some of the full touche damage, and I guess moving some of that damage over to the E, and they're moving the slow from the E over to the Q. So yeah, Heart's E, they're fixing like sort of a weird interaction Heart's E had. Originally, you could stand near a wall that you couldn't pass through and just E into it. And instead of having to wait for the whole dash to play out before the bolt came out, it would just play an extremely fast dash that wouldn't go anywhere because you're up against a wall and the bolt would come out. So you go dash, dash, dash instead of like having to wait for the dash to finish. So you could technically like rapid fire 3 bolts. It wasn't very strong. It wasn't problematic at all, but they're fixing it. So it just can't happen. Hyejin is getting her damage reduced in squad from 85% down to 82%, same as Adriana. Her attack power per level is being increased. Again, I feel like these squad nerfs are not hitting the right targets. Hyunwoo getting less HP per level. Isol also going down to 82% in squad. I will reiterate, I don't think these are the right targets to be reducing their power in squad. Dailin and Shukai are so good in squad, and they're just so good in general. And I don't believe they're going to be getting any changes this patch. So the fact that we're nerfing Adriana, we're nerfing Hyejin, we're nerfing Isol down to 82%, all of them, like that's insane. That's so much reduction for characters that are balanced or weak. Jackie, her Q indicator is more accurate. Her E is getting its base damage lowered slightly, and her R is getting a slightly pretty significantly decreased movement speed increase. It's going from 40% at max rank down to 30% at max rank. So it's actually 10% at all ranks. So the first rank difference is the biggest, going from 30 down to 20. Her final damage on the ult when it expires, the big like chainsaw sweep around her, is being reduced at max rank from 800 down to 700. But the first rank damage is the same, and the second rank damage is the same. It's just the third rank damage is much less. Dailin getting a tiny amount of HP per level nerf, which is not significant in any way. Magnus, less HP per level, and his ultimate is getting 10 more seconds on the cooldown at all ranks, so it's just a Magnus nerf. Nadine is going from 93 down to 91% damage in duo, and from 85% down to 83% in squad. Again, Nadine fucking sucks in squad. Excuse my language. She's just not that good in squad. So this change, to me, feels very tone deaf. I feel like all of Nadine's power is in the early game, and if you're just focusing on nerfing her early game because that's too strong, why not nerf what's actually making her early game oppressive? She will be so useless in the end game now. She was already terrible before. She will be beyond useless as a squad end game character. Anyways, Shoichi, less defense in general, less damage in duo, going from 97% down to 95%, and his passive is going to be increasing his crit strike chance from 7% to 9% at max rank. Sylvia going to be doing 4% less damage in squad, going from 100% down to 96%. Radar gun is getting a nice buff, an extra 20 damage at max rank with identical damage at rank 1. So going from 150 to 170 at max rank. And her E is gaining 10 damage at rank 1, and it's going up to gaining 30 damage at rank 5. So that means her E is doing a little bit more damage early game and a lot more damage late game. So 130 to 160 at max rank. Sissela going from 85% damage in squad mode down to 82, along with all of these other range characters who are also getting these exact same nerfs. I don't agree with these. Sissela, maybe. Sissela was good. The other ones, I certainly do not agree with. And she's getting a little bit more defense per level, and her E range, the projectile length, is going from 1.5 meters down to 1.3. That's a significant nerf. That's actually quite a lot of distance. So I'm not sure if this is going to be enough to really make Sissela like nerfed, like weak. Shukai is going to be doing 2% less damage in duo. They're fixing a problem in incorrect blow range and effect range when changing directions while using Burnt to a Crisp, which is his ultimate. You can now use stop and hold while using Burnt to a Crisp. Crafted items, and there's some bug they fixed. Yuki is going to be dealing 3% less damage in duo. His Q is going to be losing 10 damage at all ranks, and they're fixing some interaction between his passive and Wick buff. Zahir is going to be getting increased damage in squad, actually, of all characters. They just added a buff Zahir's squad damage, but to compensate, I guess, his E empowered E knockup duration is being lowered from 1.5 down to 1 second, which is a pretty significant nerf. Speaking of which, Guitar Charm is being lowered from 2 seconds down to 1.5, which is a huge, actually huge nerf to Guitar D skill, because the 2 second charm is like a 2 second like ranged charm that did a shitload of damage. Like, that skill was massively overloaded. So I think this nerf is probably justified, but it is a huge nerf, and you should be like paying attention to that. Satisfaction normal extra attack damage is being lowered from 14 down to 12. I always thought that weapon was pretty shit anyways, so I don't understand this change at all. Crossbow change. The expulsion shot D indicator is now more accurate. Ballista no longer has reduced movement speed. Sniper crossbow range is being lowered from 1.2 down to just 1, which I don't necessarily think is what needs to be done to sniper crossbow. I don't think sniper crossbow is that oppressive at the moment. I don't think anyone thinks sniper crossbow is that oppressive at the moment. So I don't know why we're nerfing sniper crossbow personally. But okay. Harp axe skill amplification is being reduced from 45 down to 42. Sniper rifle changes. TAC 50 is getting less of a movement speed penalty. David Sling is going from 75 attack power up to 80 attack power. Holy shit, David Sling is already really good as a throw weapon. If you don't think David Sling is going to be nuts on this coming patch, like, you need to be paying attention to this weapon. You're gonna see it a lot on Sissela. It's gonna be really good on Sissela. You're gonna see it a lot on Zahir in general, and maybe a little bit on Adriana. It's really good. Tonfa changes. Tactical Tonfa buff for the third patch in a row, going from 65 attack power up to 70, which is actually kind of getting a pretty high attack power amount for a Tonfa. Glove change. Divine Fist and Bristle Gauntlet are getting their movement speed penalty reduced from 0.1 to 0.05. Bat changes. The Bat D skill indicator is more accurate. Spy Umbrella is getting 10 attack power, and Monkey King Bar is also getting 10 attack power. Hammer changes. The D skill indicator is more accurate, and Evening Star is getting a 5 attack power increase, which is a weapon no one built anyways, so I don't think it's going to change anything. Yeah. Mastery and experience changes. Nerfing how much wait. Yeah, so the the buff from defense mastery is being reduced just slightly. HP mastery effect is being reduced just slightly. Meditation mastery also being reduced just slightly. The hunting mastery experience needed is going up per level by 20. And the crafting mastery experience needed is going up by actually a ton. 50. Wait, hold on. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. So sorry, wait, I take back what I said about hunting and crafting. So per level is gonna be one. Oh, okay. I see. So per level is going up by 20 for hunting mastery. Craft mastery is going down per level by 10, but the initial levels are going to cost more, I think. So that's the change. Weapon mastery condition for acquiring experience used to be 100 damage dealt to players gave you 60. Now it's 100 damage dealt to players gives you 63. So it's gonna be easier to get weapon mastery from attacking players and like dealing damage to players. Animals no longer randomly drop aggro, which is a great change. These are just bug fixes, by the way. All steps in the tutorial are now working properly. Saved plans the number of status icons, character info, and stats are correctly displayed in all resolutions. Items are now shown normally after picking them up off the floor when you are unarmed. And characters now face only the water when they're fishing. No more land fishing. And it now correctly displays the inventory after some items were used when dragging them in inventory slots. And they're just sort of punishing people for exploiting stuff on December 7th, and they're also going to be punishing people and reverting LP of players who have been abusing the Alt F4 LP exploit as well. And that's the whole patch, actually. So I'm curious what you guys think of this patch. Me personally, when it comes to the balance changes, I'm actually kind of upset. I think the changes to range characters in squad, lowering most of them from about 85% down to 82%-ish, is just not the correct play. I feel like range characters in general are already sort of weaker in the game, and I feel like melees have it too easy, especially Yuki. What's her name? Dailin, Shukai, and Kiara. Those four characters in particular are like pretty much, most people, at least in NA, would agree that those four characters are basically the best four characters in the game. They are extremely strong, and they have very little damage penalty in squads already. And they are dominating in squads already, and they are not being nerfed, but everyone else is being nerfed. All these range characters, who are already kind of a joke in terms of how often they get nerfed and how weak they are getting nerfed. And I just simply don't get it, and it really frustrates me. Like, why is Nimble Neuron not addressing the actual issues? Like, why are they nerfing characters that don't need to be nerfed, and why are they ignoring characters that do need to be nerfed? Like, that's frustrating to me. I'm looking forward to the new weapons on these characters, but I don't know if the excitement from that is enough to make me sort of forget about the fact that they're making such questionable balance decisions in general. I feel like these changes, and this might seem really frustrating from an NA perspective, I feel like these changes are mostly catered towards the KR server experience, where things are just valued differently over there because they play the game in a different way. They're more early game oriented, they're more aggressive. These fights are happening early game, so characters like Shukai, who spend a long time, stacking and being strong in the late game, they don't really get that power spike because the games are over so early. So anyway, that's my thoughts on it. I'm curious what you guys have to say. If you do have strong opinions one way or the other, please let me know. I'd love to hear about it. But that's gonna be it for me, and I'll catch you guys later.